Hello people, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and for those of you who are returning, it's good to have you back. Anyways, so today we'll be looking at the I-130 form. But just before we get into that, let me just say this video is not to bash any immigration lawyer, but guys, you really do not need a lawyer to file this form, especially if you have an uncomplicated case. If you're watching this and you've already filed your I-130 and you use a lawyer, please comment down below. Let us know what your experiences were, and if you didn't use a lawyer, leave us a comment just the same and let us know how that went. But I am telling you, we didn't use a lawyer, and you really don't use a lawyer. Nobody cares more about your case more than you, and this form is basically your information. Nobody knows your information more than you neither. So let's jump right into it. So in this video, we'll be covering what the form is, what is it used for, who needs to file it, the fee that you need to pay in order to file this form, how long it takes to get approved, and supporting evidence, documentations that you need to submit with this form. So the form I-130 is also known as petition for alien relative. And when you say alien, it means you live out of space. It means you live in the United States, right? So it's a form submitted to the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services by a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident. Same thing as a green card holder. Petitioning, them love use big words. Filing, same thing. Filing for an immediate or a close relative to come and live in the U.S. So in a nutshell, the form is really to establish relationship, right? So the person who is doing the filing, they need to prove to USCIS that, hey, this person I am filing for is my wife. This person is my husband. This person is my child. This person is really my sister or my brother. So you're establishing a relationship with that form, and that is what that form is for. So the form is not for the person we are coming to the US and live. After the person we have filed, to do that part there first before we can even move on to the next step. So this is the very first step. So let's get into who needs to file the form. So the legal permanent resident or the green card holder filing for an adopted child, filing for an unmarried child under the age of 21 years old, filing for married children of any age or for their spouse. As it relates to the U.S. citizen, they can file for any of those persons under the category of the legal permanent resident, as well as their siblings or their parents, given that the person filing is 21 years old or older. So where do we file this form? You file it online or you file it by mail. Mail will take more time and will add time to your processing, so we didn't opt to do that. We did it online, and if you're going to do it online, you would need to create an account with USCIS. We'll leave the link in the description. Currently, the cost for filing the I-130 is $535, but that is subject to the change, and that can be done through the USCIS portal for those of you who are filing online. Now let's jump into the documents that you need to submit with the form I-130. Remember now, guys, you are saying to USCIS that you are a U.S. citizen or you're a U.S. legal permanent resident filing for either your spouse or some immediate relative. No, you need to prove to USCIS that you are who you say you are and that you are filing for who you say you are filing for, right? So in proving that you are a U.S. citizen, you will need to submit a copy of the biometric page of your passport along with your naturalization certificate. So to prove that you're a legal permanent resident, you will need to send a copy of the front and the back of the green card. Now, to prove the relationship between the person you are filing for and yourself, depending on whether you're filing for your spouse, you're filing for your child, or you're filing for your parent. You will need to submit either a marriage certificate or birth certificate. In the case of me and my husband was filing for me, so he had to submit a marriage certificate. When it comes on to marriages, you have to prove that your marriage is not a fake, that it is bona fide. In our case, we submitted documentation of insurance policies, we submitted documentation of joint bank account and pictures. In addition to those, you can submit birth certificate of children born to you, as well as documentation of properties owned together or joint tenancy. After submitting the I-130 form, it takes anywhere from 5 to 12 months for the immediate relative to get approval, and several years for the family preference. And you know, for immediate relatives, those are the spouses, the unmarried children under the age of 21 years, parents, and then for the family preference would be like siblings, married children over the age of 21 or of any age. In our case, we filed in January 2020, and within 3 weeks we received an email saying that they received everything and they accepted the documents, and we got approval in August 2020. So the entire process there took roughly 8 months. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the NVC portion of it. That was the headache.